Hello, my name's John and I'm going to run through a Shadowrun Crossfire mission. I'm going to do the Dragon mission, which is the only thing I can find on YouTube that hasn't been done, that I'm aware of, at least in the base game. I've seen kind of the extraction and the Crossfire. I think somebody's done the ambulance one, which is like the promo one. So I've got 4 runners. We've got Street Samurai, the Face, the Mage and the Decker as normal. With the Covert Dragon, we have to hit each aspect on each side, and it starts off on the Covert side and it goes to the Enraged. I won't go through too many of the rules because there's loads about how to play the game, but maybe I'll just talk about the specifics of the Dragon fight. Just in case you don't know, I've got 2 little chits on top of the Crossfire because the first 2 rounds of the Dragon fight, we don't have a Crossfire card. That's the normal difficulty. Each of my guys has 130 karma. I don't have the stickers, so I've just got them kind of laid out here to remind myself of anything. And basically the general strategy for the Dragon fight that I've worked out is to use Prime Runner. Okay, Prime Runner. Don't know if you can see that, but Prime Runner basically says the first basic card you play of your colour is worth 2 of those symbols. So for example, you play a quick shot, it's actually not a quick shot, it's a double black. Okay, and with the dragon, just if you can see it, you have to get 8 of that colour symbol on 1 turn, which is why it's hard, while you've got a relentless tide of obstacles that are getting ridiculously hard. Welcome to Shadowrun Crossfire. So each of my runners has Prime Runner. They also have their colour version of this, which is the blue one. And basically it just means you can turn 2 colourless into 1 of your colour. Okay, so I'm basically helping each of my guys get to their 8 by giving them 2 symbols kind of for free, not for free but nearly for free. And then each of them has 2 other upgrades because they're all maxed out. And so we've got my Street Samurai, who's going to have strong arm, which means that when he's got more health than New Yen, okay, he gets a discount off one of the black market cards. He also has wide reflexes, which is that one there. And basically that gives him 2 starting cards. So he starts with his whole deck because he's an Orc Street Samurai. Okay, he starts with the whole deck in his hand. And then we've got the Face, who has, it's a Jin thing, which is 2 more New Yen. Sorry, 2 more New Yen. And, sorry, the wide reflexes, which is 2 more cards in hand. So he's got 6 out of 7 cards in his hand. The Mage role is got the same as the Face. So 2 cards, 2 money. And then the Decker has 2 cards and 2 money. Okay, so they've also the last 3 all have the same the same makeup, and that's mainly because having cards early is extremely powerful because it really controls the fight really early on, and you can really keep things down. The general kind of overview of the strategy will be that the Face and the Decker, who are the first 2 colours, will be not playing cards very much and trying to collect and hold their colour. And the other 2, the black and the blue, until the Covert Dragon is flipped, will be buying up cards and playing and killing and trying to cycle through this deck, the black market deck, and get more red and green cards out. Now unfortunately I actually drew the Mercenary Elf Decker, who cycled right from the get-go. Some very nice red and green cards. So that might hinder us, we'll have to see. Okay, so I think we're ready to go. So it's going to be the Street Samurai, so I draw from the Crossfire deck, or I don't draw but I take off a token, and then I've got the Street Samurai. Now, he's got 7 cards in hand, but can do 8 damage because he gets his prime runner ability. So really I want to be killing somebody, and I want to be killing some people who are the heavy hitters. So I've got a 2 damage here, and I've got a 2 damage here. I will... How many have got there? So 6, no, 5, 6, 7. So if I play 7, but keep back a Street Smarts, and the reason I can do that, remember, is the prime runner. I just don't want to forget, because I forgot. I've filmed this once already and I forgot to do it first couple of rounds. So I'm killing my mercenary elf decker, so that means I don't take the 2 damage, and I'm keeping hold of a Street Smarts, partly because I know that the decker and the face are going to want to be holding what they've got. Okay, so now I deal out 6 money. Okay, and then draw 2 cards. Draw 2 cards. And then I can purchase. And this is absolutely perfect. So the katana is 4. Now I've only got 3, but because of my strong arm, I can buy it with a discount of 1. And that is exactly why I've got this ability. Because the katana, as you can imagine, for the Street Samurai is one of the best cards they've got. Pardon me. So, because I want to try and hold on to my face, to my Street Smarts, my red, I'm going to be playing these cards. And I know that this last card, by process of assimilation, is my last Street Smart, so I really want to be drawing that. So, I'm going to play, because the Elf Shaman, when it attacks, it heals 1 level, so really I want to be killing that fairly quickly, or not at all, because it's just going to heal and waste my time. I'm actually going to deal 1 Ancient Sentry, and then I will play against the Elf Shaman, but even though it's going to heal, just because I want to play the cards. I can just discard them, it's not a problem. I can always do that. So I'm going to take 1 damage from the Elf Shaman, he heals. I then draw my last Street Smarts and 1 more. Okay, because you can always draw 2 cards when you have 3 or less. Okay. So I've got the face there, and then I've got the option of buying from the black market, which I will do. So I've got 4. So I'm going to buy the coordinated attack, and I'd love to buy the second coordinated attack, but I can't afford it, unfortunately. And that's really where I could have probably killed one of these 2 and then maybe got some more money, but I kind of want to hold on to my things, because at the moment the face roll has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then the coordinated attack will allow somebody else to play a card on my turn, which could be a Street Smart. So actually the face roll is exactly where he needs to be. 6. Yeah, I just don't want to misspeak, because that would be terrible. Okay, so we've got the mage roll. The mage roll is going to play a mana and a quick shot to do 3 damage. Remember, his mana is worth 2. And then he's going to play all his other cards, which is going to be 4 cards, and deal 2 levels onto the Elf Shaman. Okay. So he does take 2, which is a bit of a shame, but the Ancient Sentry has only got one level left, and he draws up. And he draws his street smarts. And just shuffling up. Small decks are always a pain to shuffle. And then I've got my quick shot. And then with my, I've got $7 because remember I started with 2 extra. And I'm going to buy a Death Touch, which a Death Touch is one of the best cards for the mage in the against Dragon Fight, because you get 2 symbols plus very likely your 3rd symbol because of your minor knack. Okay, so that's going to be there. I've then got 3, and I think at this point I'm going to get a Stun Bolt, because the reason I'm not getting a Guiding Spirit yet is I've got really nothing to cycle through. I'll keep on putting in my discard. I've got really nothing to cycle through yet. So when I've got something worth cycling through, like a Firebolt or something like that, it will probably be worth it. Okay, so I bought those 2. Then we're on to the Decker. So I'm going to play my 1 Street Smarts, which will kill the Ancient Sentry. That's why I'm going to get some more money. Okay. The Covert Dragon will attack, which means I discard a mark, unfortunately. And then the Covert Dragon will move. And the Covert Dragon will move to blue. Okay. And then I draw 2 cards. Okay, so I'm slowly collecting my greens, which is good. And then I got 10 gold. So I'm going to buy pair programming for 5. And then seeing what else is coming, I'm going to buy backdoor. Now backdoor is actually probably more useful in some ways to somebody else. Okay, actually, yeah. Let me buy coordinated attack, and I'll tell you why. Because I'm very likely to get very close at the moment, and actually coordinated attack will not only help me with the colourless, but it might help me somebody else playing a mark on my turn. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then the coordinated attack's ability will play the 8. So that's actually really good. So actually, at the moment, I'm actually very much up to speed. Okay. So things are looking a lot better than they were my last attempt. So at the end of this round, we lay out the obstacles. So we always lay along from here. So we flipped the security goons, flipped cycle 1 non-weapon card in the black market. I've got 2 of the Guiding Spirit, so we'll get rid of that. And then there's a defeated ability, but I won't read that until it comes into play. And then we've got a wired merc and a eye alarm. Okay. So now over to the Street Samurai. At the beginning of his turn, he draws the final token off the top. So the following round, we'll be starting to get those dangerous cards. And then we've got some killing to do. So I think I need to take out this Elf Shaman because he's just going to start healing again. So I'm going to deal Street Samurai, Street Smarts even, and going to do the katana damage. So he's only got 1 blue left, which won't be enough to kill him, but at least it will take him down. And now this quick shot is going to be worth 3 damage because of the katana's bonus and its own. And so then I've got 4 damage to put somewhere, and I'm going to put that against the wired merc. Okay. So again, he's really just running interference. He takes 2, so he takes it down to 4, draws 2 cards, and I've only got 1 money. Ironically, I could actually buy a Clairvoyance, which is not necessarily a bad thing, which I will do, because an assist for a colour I'm not is exactly. I want the assists to go into other people's hands of that role, and I want their own colour to go in their hand. Hopefully that makes sense. Sorry, pardon me. So we decided that the Covert Dragon needs to die. So Street Smarts, which is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 for the coordinated attack, 7 because of the mark playing the mark and the colourless damage on the coordinated attack, which is my 2 colourless, and then I'm gonna get the mage roll to draw. Okay, so the mage draws a mana, which is fine, but he's going to play a Street Smarts, so that's my 8th symbol needed. Okay, so that means that the Covert Dragon is gone. Also, on Clairvoyance. Hold on. No. Okay. With the Clairvoyance, he's gonna the face will draw a card and discard a card because the Street Samurai is playing Clairvoyance, and then that does 1 blue damage, which will kill the Elf Shaman before it attacks. Okay, so we can dish that money out. That's gone. So what I'm doing is, even though I've killed the Covert Dragon, I wait until the end of the turn to trigger its reward. So I take a damage from the eye alarm, I draw cards. Now this is where I hope to draw a skill card, and you'll see why in a second. So I'm going to draw up to 2, and then we then resolve the Covert Dragon. So, before we resolve the Covert Dragon, I get to purchase. Now at this point, I don't need to worry about reds anymore because reds are taken out. Only reds are kind of on the obstacles. So I'm actually going to buy a backdoor. Because a backdoor not only allows me to cancel an ability, but it also gives me some assistance to the decker, who's unfortunately 1 short because there's no one out here with a mark. And then cycle that through, and then I've got 2 money, and so I'm going to spend my last 2 money on getting the Clairvoyance, because again that's a blue assist, so I want to be helping out other people. Okay, so now the Covert Dragon triggers. Okay, so now this is the end of the scene. So if you're used to normal kind of Crossfire rules, all those things apply. So we heal up 1. Heal up 1. The Crossfire card, if we had one out, would flip and go underneath the deck. And then this is where things get a little bit painful. For each runner, heals 1, and then each runner, starting with the runner who defeated the aspect, moving clockwise, they can discard a skill card from their hand to take a card of their choice from the black market. So the face has no skill cards, unfortunately. Neither does the mage. Now the dwarf does, and I just need to do some calculations because he could discard this coordinated attack. Now we were planning on using it, but actually the backdoor gives him the green as an assist anyway. So the coordinated attack might be worth it because I've just drawn Hero Move, which is a 9 money card, and I would get that for free. So it might be worth it. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then 7, 8. So I've got the 8 I need on his turn. So I'm going to discard the coordinated attack to draw the Hero Move, which is just a great card because it means I get lots of damage. So two reds and 2. And I also get to draw a card. Now ideally that would go with the face, but actually the face has done his bit, so he can just assist. So really once they've done their bit, they can kind of start colour mixing and start trying to balance their decks a bit more. Okay, now at the end of the scene, as always, you have a bonus purchase round, which is often forgotten. It always starts with the runner the next runner along from the one who finished the scene, which is the face here. So the mage can buy, and the mage will actually hold fire because there's a death touch out. Now death touch is a very good card, as I've already said, for the mage in this thing, and actually lightning bolt, which is normally a really excellent card, is actually useless in this because it doesn't give you any colour dots, it gives you levels, and you can't use that on the Covert, on the enraged dragon. So actually I'm not going to be getting the lightning bolt at least until later, because all it'll do is dilute my deck. It's the same with the sniper rifle as well, they're significantly weaker in the dragon fight. So he's got his bonus buy, he's going to decline. The decker will purchase an icon grab for $2. The street samurai I can't purchase, and neither can the face because they've not got enough money. So now it moves on to the mage roll. Okay, and so the mage, now the interesting thing is the mage probably wants to start saving up cards because we're going to get the green. By the green's turn it's going to go, and so then obviously this next round he's going to be facing an enraged dragon potentially, so he needs to start thinking about that. So I'm just going to play a quick shot. It will do no damage. No, actually I'm going to hang fire and not do anything, because when the Covert dragon attacks I have to discard a card, and that will be the quick shot. It will move, and it will move in the direction I want it to go, which is towards the black player. Now the more times it goes that way means it triggers less often in the round, which is very good, because now it won't trigger again until the black's turn. So I draw 2 cards. Now I'm looking very good. So it's going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and with the clairvoyance 8. So when it's the mage's next roll, as long as I keep clairvoyance in hand, we're going to get the next level of the enraged dragon. So now we just need to work on the black player. Okay, and now we're on to the decker roll, because again I can't purchase. I think now I actually will purchase. What I'll do is I'll purchase and buy a guiding spirit. Now the reason is so that it helps me get my last colour, just in case. It's always better to have it on hand. And if I need to, I can then cycle through my whole deck again. And you'll see that kind of happen as it comes. So let's play the decker. So the mark 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 with the icon grab, and the pair programming will pick up this mark and play it. Okay, so that is going to be the Covert Dragon's second face gone, and we're going to just, I'll put those in the discard pile for now. I've also got mana and a hero move, and so what I think I need to start taking people out really. So So I'm going to just take out the eye alarm in one go with my hero move and my mana. Now every runner draws 1 card, so every single runner will draw a card now, which is an excellent ability. And so I've got 5 damage to kill that. Everyone gets one money. Okay. And then that goes there. I then take 2 damage from the security goons and then draw 2 cards. Okay. And with only 1 card in hand, I can't really purchase anything. Oh, sorry, 1 money, I can't really purchase anything. Okay, now we resolve the Covert Dragon. Okay, so again we would flip the top card of the Crossfire deck onto the bottom of the deck. That doesn't happen. We will heal 1 for every runner heals 1, which is good. and then each runner gets 3 new yen, which is a lovely sum. Okay. Each one gains 3 new yen, and then we do the bonus purchase round. So the and it always starts to the next one along from the player who defeated it, so who finished the scene. So I then have the orc who wants to be collecting black cards, and there's not a black card inside, so I'm actually going to hang fire and hold on to my money, because what I can do is I can wait until these guys have purchased, and then in my next following turn I will have hopefully got something. So now I want to be looking at getting utility cards and cards that really give assisting abilities now to really help people out. I would buy the Press the Advantage because that's a great card for me, but I'm 1 short. I only had 4, so I need 5 for that. So I'm going to buy the Negotiate for 3. Okay, so a sniper rifle, which is actually not very useful at the moment. We've then got 4, so I'm then going to buy a Death Touch for the Mage, which is a really good card. Now, Covering Fire is excellent for somebody who's not the Street Samurai, because it can assist with black. I've only got 4 though, so I'm just going to buy for 3 a Jack Din, which is really great for a decker. Okay, and then there's the Remington, which is fairly good for the Street Samurai. Now that is completed, we flip the Enraged Dragon over. So now the Enraged Dragon no longer makes us discard cards, but it does do 2 damage every time. So now the heat really ramps up. Okay, so that was the decker's turn. Or at least that was the end of the scene after the decker's turn. So now we're going to move on to the Street Samurai's first round, but actually we first of all need to lay out the obstacles. So the Enraged Dragon is now in front of the Street Samurai. So we've got the Ancient's Ganger, the Aslan Decker, which will be attacking the Decker and the Mage. And then finally, the Gang Leader, when flipped, put 4 cards in the discard pile. And there's my hero move con. Lovely. Okay. And then at the beginning of the Street Samurai turn, we draw a card. So this turn, runners can't buy cards. And to remind myself of that, I'm going to put my trusty elephant on the market, because I will forget. That's the hardest part of this game, is to remember those cards. So I'm going to be taking 4 damage, which is quite a lot. I can survive it. Can't really do anything now. So I'm actually just going to hold on, take 4 damage. 1, 2, 3, 4. So I'm down to 2, so that's fairly painful. And then draw from my hand. Actually, hold on. All I've done is shuffle my discard, so that I've not really done anything. So what I'm going to do is play the backdoor for 1 green, which will do the 1 green on this guy. I'm then going to play Negotiation, which is slightly wasted because I can't buy, but it gives me 2 more damage, and then the mana will get me to here. So I am kind of doing something. But the reason I'm playing the backdoor is to block the Aslan Decker, who will stop attacking the Decker. He'll only attack 1 person at a time. Okay, and so then that is, both of those go to the face, and now I draw up. So I've taken the damage already, and then I draw up. Okay. Okay, so I've just drawn a quick shot and a mark. That's perfect. Now I would be buying up, but I can't. I'm going to keep the Clairvoyance in my hand. And then I now need to start really working through these. I'm going to try and take out this guy, so I'm going to play a quick shot and a street smarts to do that. So all he needs is now a green, which I don't unfortunately have, and then I've got a mana which will go against the Ancient's Ganger, and that's it. I'm going to keep Clairvoyance in my hand, take 2 damage and draw 2 cards. And again, card purchase. I'm saying this more for to remind me rather than to remind you. I'm sure you all will remember. So we have then got quite a large number of blue, which is fantastic. So Death Touch and Death Touch are going to both give me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now the reason I know it's 5 is you look at the top card. You look at the top 3 cards of your deck, and you then count the number of spell cards. Now, the only cards in my discard, and there's none in my deck, are these cards, and only one of them is a spell. So that will basically get put in any order I choose, and I'm going to put the spell on the top. Okay? So that's going to be 5, 6, and then 7, 8 with my mana. Okay, so I'm hitting the Enraged Dragon with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, I need one more. 8. Hitting the Enraged Dragon with 8, with only 4 cards. That's the power of the Death Touch. Okay, so that's the Enraged Dragon gone, and then I've got lots and lots of cards for everything else. So I am going to play the Mark to kill the Wired Mech, and then I'm going to play Guided Spirit. Okay, and then discard 2 cards. Now I'm discarding the Stumble, but it's because I don't really need blue at all. What I need is colours, and so I'm going to do that now. It's unfortunate that I chose to keep the mana on top. But anyway, so I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 damage to do somewhere, and what I'll do is I'll just do that against me, against the person against me. So that's going to be the first 2 levels there. Okay, and that's all right there. So now I need to deal out 11. So 3 to me, 3 to you, 3 to you, and then 2 to you. Yes, I'm just double guessing myself with the laying out of those things. So I take a damage. I then shuffle my deck, and then I've got the Enraged Dragon. Now this is actually quite interesting because I put the Crossfire card on the bottom now. This is no longer active, so I can now purchase. Each runner heals 1, so heal, 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 and then each runner draws a card, which is very useful. Okay, and now we get the bonus after scene ends by. So this is gone. I've got 4 money, and I'm going to buy a Jack Din. Okay, the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So the Street Samurai has got 8 money, and he's going to buy the Remington first, and then for 3, and then he's going to buy Covering Fire. Now obviously Covering Fire would be great for somebody else, but actually I think he might get there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So that actually means that the Street Samurai will have his what's the word? He can kill the dragon on the next round. Then we've got the Face, who's got 3, can't buy anything, and the Mage, who's got 3. is going to buy the Guiding Spirit purely to keep things cycling, because even though I've said, and I've dared to say it, that the next round will be the Enraged Dragon, so much could happen that realistically things are just gonna, things could, like this, every time you draw this could be the end of the game. Okay, we then move on to the Decker, who's going to just start to clear up. So that's gone. We've then got so we've got Icon Grab, jacked in. Jacked in is 6, which will be the first few levels of this one. You've then got the first mark of the turn, and the quick shot is going to kill that guy. And then I'm going to do 1 Street Smarts onto the gang leader. Defeated, choose one runner, that runner heals, and I'm going to heal the Street Samurai as he's the closest to death. Okay, so then these will go in the discard pile, then distribute 8, which is just 2 to every player, and then I draw up 2. Okay. Then the end of the deck is round, we lay out more obstacles. Now we've already got 3 out, so actually we're going to do fairly badly here, I think. So the face can't draw cards. The Careless Researcher has the this attack strength of this obstacle is increased by X, where X equals the scene number. We are in scene 4. The dragon has 4 scenes because it has 4 aspects. So this is going to be fairly brutal. This is actually one of the new cards in the expansion. So I should actually, I've taken all the expansion cards out because I'll mention later, but the expansion really makes the Enraged Dragon nigh on impossible. Anyway, so I'll leave it in because this is Shadowrun. You let things run. You see how they fall, and then we've got one more to come out, which is Trip Beams, which is a fairly normal deck, fairly normal Decker. We then draw at the beginning of the Street Samurai's turn. We then draw Yomi this. The attack strength of each dwarf, elf, orc, and troll obstacle is increased by 1. So elf, so that's increased by 1. So this goes from a 2 to a 3. And then this gang leader goes from a 1 to a 2. And there's no dwarves or trolls. Okay, so we got fairly lucky on that one. So just 2 got affected, and there's a 5+, a 5+ for the Crossfire level, which I've never lived to 5+. I've died way before then. So now it's the final turn, and we are actually going to survive because we can play this. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and then the 2 colourless are going to be the 8. And that means we kill the Enraged Dragon. Now, you can technically play through the end of this round because if you hit the weapon aspect on the Enraged Dragon, everybody can heals 1, but then they can discard a weapon card to heal 2 more, which frankly is the weakest aspect, which is why the one I don't bother with. Because if you need the health, you're not winning. And really, to be winning, you want cards. Anyway, that was one successful dragon fight. I'm a bit surprised by that. Obviously, if you noticed any rules goofs or I've got something wrong, then do let me know. Like, comment and subscribe.